Good morning, students. Today I am explaining the classification of fertilizers. The fertilizers are classified based on agrochemical nature, based on the solubility in moisture in the soil, and based on physical properties. Now, first one is based on agrochemical nature. These fertilizers are readily assimilated by plants and they are obtained in the form of compounds, and they are classified into direct fertilizers and indirect fertilizers. The direct fertilizers are the nitrogen, phosphatic or potassium or zinc fertilizers, and this again classified into simple fertilizers which contain only single element in the form of compound, maybe nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium or magnesium. Then comes the double fertilizers which contain two elements, and triple fertilizers which contain all the three elements which are essential for the growth of the plant. So they are called complete fertilizers. So the fertilizer containing nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium are called complete fertilizers. Now come to indirect fertilizers. These indirect fertilizers, they supply water. Examples are calcium carbonate, dolomite. They reduce the acidity of the soil. Dolomite or the calcium carbonate, they reduce the acidity of the soil, increases the alkaline nature. For example, gypsum, it increases the soluble acids and salts. So these are called indirect fertilizers. Now comes to the based on solubility in the soil mixture of the soil. These fertilizers are classified into soluble in water, soluble in soil acids. Your nitrogen and potassium fertilizers are soluble in water, whereas the phosphorus fertilizers are soluble in most of the phosphorus fertilizers are soluble in soil acids. And here the fertilizers are classified based on physiological acidic, physiological basic and physiologically alkaline. The physiologically neutral fertilizers, they maintain the pH of the soil. Now the fertilizers classified based on the physical properties, they are powdered form and granular form. Not much about powdered form, whereas the granular fertilizers increases the absorption of fertilizers into the soil by increasing the soil properties. And next comes to the nitrogenous fertilizers. Nitrogenous fertilizers. These nitrogenous fertilizers contain ammonium as cation and nitrate or amide as anion. These nitrogenous fertilizers mostly obtained by the neutralization reactions, and these fertilizers are used for the nitrogen deficiency of the soil, and they are more soluble in water. Next, these nitrogenous fertilizers are classified into inorganic ammoniates and organic ammoniates. Inorganic ammoniates containing nitrates nitrogen, ammonium nitrogen and ammonium nitrate nitrogen. So first nitrates nitrogen, example sodium nitrate, potassium nitrate. And then comes to the ammonium nitrates, you have ammonium chloride, ammonium sulfate, ammonia. And then comes to the ammonium plus nitrogen nitrates, ammonium nitrate and calcium ammonium nitrate are examples. Now let us comes to the organic ammoniates. These organic ammoniates are classified into two types. One is the cyanamide, or it contains the synthetic or organic, as I mentioned. It contains amides. So the examples are calcium cyanamide, urea. And organic ammoniates of plant origin includes cabbage waste and oil cakes. This is the classification of nitrogenous fertilizers. Now let us come to the amount of nitrogen fixed by these nitrogenous fertilizers. You have 6 fertilizers in the syllabus. So let us see the nitrogen fixation among these 6 fertilizers. Ammonium nitrate it fixes about 33 to 35% of nitrogen, and 16% of nitrogen in the form of ammonium, and 16% of nitrogen in the form of nitrates. Then comes to urea, it exists as amide, and it fixes about 45%, the maximum amount of nitrogen, 45% of nitrogen. Then calcium cyanamide, it fixes 21% of nitrogen. Then comes calcium ammonium nitrate, 15.5%, and then sodium nitrate, 16%, and then ammonium chloride, 26% of nitrogen. Now you have these 6 fertilizers, and among these 6 fertilizers you have urea in detail, the preparation of urea in detail. The others, let us see the preparation and uses. Okay, the first one is ammonium nitrate. This ammonium nitrate is prepared from ammonia on treating with nitric acid. So this nitric acid of about this nitric acid and ammonia both are allowed to pass through a base of the tower where it forms ammonium nitrate at 3 to 5 atmospheric pressure, and here neutralization takes place, followed by evaporation by heating and vacuum evaporator. We will get the concentrated ammonium nitrate. This ammonium nitrate is passed through Prilling tower, where we will get this nitrate will get solidified. This solidified ammonium nitrate is dried in presence of low temperature, otherwise it melts, and followed by finishing. It is stored in dehumidification building, because it catches fire, it explodes when moisture is present. So 80% of the ammonium fertilizer, ammonium nitrate goes as a fertilizer, whereas 20% for the preparation of explosives. So in order to avoid explosion, calcium carbonates, the calcium carbonates were added to avoid explosion. And then these ammonium nitrates are converted to granules by adding calcium nitrate or phosphate, and then converted to powder by adding phosphorite or bone meal. And this ammonium nitrate, it is used almost for all kinds of crops. Then comes urea. This urea, it occupies the third most important place in the distribution of nitrogen fertilizers throughout the world. And the preparation, okay, it is generally prepared in ammonia plant, and where this ammonia is taken, and here in ammonia plant carbon dioxide is the byproduct, and this is the main the reactant for the preparation of urea. So we are getting the main reactant without as a cheap source of the material, this carbon dioxide. So ammonia reacts with carbon dioxide to give urea, and liquid ammonia is passed into the stainless tower with a piston. It is controlled by a piston, and carbon dioxide is passed into the bottom of the tower, and here carbon dioxide compressor is seen, and through this the carbon dioxide is passed, and liquid ammonia, it is passed through interannular spaces present between the two cylinders. It is passed through it and comes in contact with carbon dioxide here from the bottom of the tower, at the bottom of the tower, and gets converted to urea, and this urea in the molten form will get into the this distillation tower, and the gases from the gases from the water, HNO3 and ammonia, the liberated gases, that is ammonia and carbon dioxide, are liberated from here, and thus this molten form of the urea is entered into the evaporator and then converted to granules by passing through Prilling tower. Here steam is introduced to increase the pressure of the gases. Ammonia comes in contact with carbon dioxide to form ammonium carbamate, and this ammonium carbamate at 130 to 135 degrees centigrade at 35 atmospheric pressure gets converted into urea, and this urea in presence of water gets hydrolyzed to ammonia and carbon dioxide in presence of urease enzyme. Thus urea converted to ammonia and carbon dioxide in presence of urease enzyme on hydrolysis. This ammonia gets converted to nitrites by Nitrosomonas or Nitrococcus bacteria, and this nitrates gets converted to nitrates by Nitrobacter bacteria, and thus will get fixed into the soil. And then comes to the calcium cyanamide. This calcium cyanamide, it is prepared by taking calcium oxide, lime, by treating with carbon followed by passing nitrogen gas. So initially lime is taken, to which carbon is added at high temperature at 2000 degrees centigrade to form calcium carbide. This calcium carbide and nitrogen forms calcium cyanamide. This calcium cyanamide, when it is applied to the soil, it combines with carbon and forms nitrolim. This nitrolim discharges as ammonia and nitrate. Both are utilized in the soil, and this calcium carbamide undergoes hydrolysis to form cyanamide, NH2Cl. This cyanamide undergoes hydrolysis to form urea, and again this urea in presence of different bacterial enzymes will get converted to nitrates, as we discussed just now, by Nitrosomonas, Nitrococcus and Nitrobacter bacteria. Okay, and then calcium cyanamide, it is used for all types of soils and for all types of crops. Then comes calcium ammonium nitrate. This calcium ammonium nitrate is prepared from ammonia, limestone and with concentrated HNO3. Ammonia, limestone and concentrated HNO3. Ammonia reacts with HNO3 to form ammonium nitrate, whereas the same calcium carbonate reacts with HNO3 to form calcium nitrate. So both ammonium nitrate and calcium nitrate both are present in calcium ammonium nitrate fertilizer. And then comes to the sodium nitrate. So not much about sodium nitrate, about 16% of nitrogen present in sodium nitrate. Now comes to the ammonium chloride. Ammonium chloride formation takes place by passing carbon dioxide and ammonia gas through sodium chloride solution, results in the formation of ammonium chloride. This ammonium chloride acts as a good fertilizer for paddy soils. Next comes to the phosphate fertilizers. You have 3 phosphate fertilizers in your syllabus. One is normal superphosphate, triple superphosphate and ammonium phosphate. Among these, normal superphosphate, also called superphosphate of lime, is the preparation in detail is there in your syllabus. Now let us these phosphates are classified into soluble form, insoluble form. Soluble form of fertilizers are soluble in water. Example, your potassium. Phosphate fertilizers are classified into soluble form and insoluble form. Soluble form are your normal superphosphate and triple superphosphate. Insoluble forms are soluble in strong inorganic acids like bone meal or phosphatic meal. Now you have in your syllabus normal superphosphate, also called superphosphate of lime. Let us see the preparation. The phosphate rock, the formula is Ca3PO4 taken twice. Calcium phosphate is treated with 98% sulfuric acid, also called Chambers acid, to form calcium monophosphate, CaH2PO4 taken twice, and along with crystals of calcium sulfate it is present. This is called commercial superphosphate. So the superphosphate, the normal superphosphate contains CaH2PO4 taken twice with calcium sulfate crystals. Generally, this calcium nitrate which is present in the soil, calcium phosphate, present in the form soil, Ca3PO4 taken twice, will get slowly decomposed to calcium monophosphate in presence of soluble acids in the soil. So, and this commercial method we are using, we are treating the calcium phosphate with concentrated H2SO4 to form calcium monophosphate. So let us see the preparation. The rock salt, nothing but calcium phosphate, Ca3PO4 taken twice, and concentrated H2SO4, both are taken in equal quantities, are sent to the chamber here, the cast iron chamber here with a stirring mechanism provided, so are sent to the cast iron chamber, and here the charge is taken and allowed to mix it for allow it to stir for 5 minutes, and then which is kept for a day. The temperature rises to 100 to 110 degrees centigrade. The mixture of fumes of HF, SiF, CO2 are liberated and they make the reaction porous. We have here inlet into the pits A1 and A2. It has a passages P1 and P2 leads to the inlet A1 and A2. As the reaction proceeds here, the mixture stiffens and forms a solid mass, and this is introduced to either pit A1 or A2. Here this is kept for some days and the mixture is dried and it is dug out of the pit, and meanwhile the second pit is filled. The gases in the pit are washed with sodium carbonate solution and followed by washed sand is used. So the hydrofluoric acid present will get converted in presence of sodium carbonate to sodium fluorosilicic acid, and hydrofluorosilicic acid. This will get converted by reacting with sodium carbonate followed by washed sand. It will get converted to hydrofluorosilicic acid. This hydrofluorosilicic acid, on treating with either magnesium carbonate or sodium carbonate, gets converted to magnesium silicofluoride or sodium silicofluoride. These are the important byproducts, and the overall reaction is the calcium phosphate, that is rock salt phosphate. It is in Ca10PO4 taken 6 times F2. This is in this form. It is made to react with 7H2SO4. The overall reaction I am giving, and it gives rise to the formation of about 7 CaSO4, 3 H2PO4 taken thrice, and then 3 H2O and 2 HF. Okay, and then comes to the superphosphate, preparation of triple superphosphate. So the difference between normal superphosphate and triple superphosphate is the normal superphosphate contains about 20% of P2O5, whereas the triple superphosphate contains about 44 to 45% of P2O5. Since the difference is more than 2 times here, so it is called triple superphosphate. And in normal superphosphate, the rock we are using contains about the phosphate rock, that is Ca3PO4 taken twice, contains about 33% of P2O5. Okay, and now here the preparation of triple superphosphate, here the calcium phosphate is made to react with 78% phosphoric acid. So Ca3PO4 taken twice is made to react with phosphoric acid, H3PO4. It gets converted to hydrated calcium monophosphate. Hydrated calcium monophosphate is called triple superphosphate, whereas hydrated calcium monophosphate with calcium sulfate crystals is called normal superphosphate. So here the triple superphosphate is obtained from calcium phosphate and phosphoric acid. The overall reaction, the same ore we will take, that is Ca10PO4 taken 6 times F2. It is made to react with 14 moles of H3PO4. There we use 7 moles of H2SO4 for normal superphosphate. Here we are using 14 moles of H2SO4 for triple superphosphate, and 10 H2O gives rise to the hydrated calcium monophosphate, and 2 HF with 10 Ca H2PO4 taken twice, 10 H2O to HF. Now comes to the ammonium phosphate. So the monoammonium phosphate, the formula is NH4 H2PO4 taken twice. It is prepared by treating sulfuric acid with ammonium sulfate on your phosphate rock, that is nothing but calcium phosphate, Ca3PO4 taken twice. Upon reaction with ammonium sulfate, NH4 taken twice is O4, in presence of sulfuric acid gives rise to NH4 H2PO4 taken twice. The most important aspect here is it contains 12% nitrogen and 50% of P2O5. This fertilizer is used for almost all kinds of soils and for all types of crops. And when we use this fertilizer, acidity increases, and about 78 kgs of 86 kgs of calcium carbonate is to be added. So in order to neutralize the acidity, and this is mostly used for calcareous and alkaline soils, used in calcareous and alkaline soils. Next comes to the potassium fertilizers. You have potassium chloride, potassium sulfate, and potassium nitrate. So here the potassium fertilizers amount, you have potassium chloride is the mostly used fertilizer, which contains K2O in chloride form. This is also called muriate of potash, and this is obtained from dead sea brine solution, which is about 1.2 concentrated, is converted to 23% by evaporation, followed by crystallization. We will get 97% of KCl. So this fertilizer is used for maximum number of crops, and for tobacco and potato crops, if the amount is more, if the more fertilizer is used, if the fertilizer is more, it decreases the quality of the product. Next comes to the potassium sulfate. It is also called sulfate of potash, and this is prepared by treating concentrated sulfuric acid on KCl. You will get potassium sulfate. Then the properties or the uses, it is used for all kinds of crops on all types of soils, and it overcomes the muriate of potash, the property where it will decrease the quality of potato and tobacco, that is overcome by using your sulfate of potash. So it is advantageous for using in tobacco and potato crops. And then it is applied at any time before sowing the seeds. Okay. And then next comes the potassium nitrate. It is called saltpeter, and it is prepared by treating potassium hydroxide with HNO3. You will get potassium nitrate, and this contains both potassium and nitrogen. Both can be used as fertilizers. Then comes complex fertilizers. You have complex fertilizers, incomplete complex fertilizers, complete complex fertilizers. So the fertilizers containing nitrogen and phosphorus mainly in the form of phosphoric acid P2O5 and potash in the form of K2O or soluble potassium are present in the fertilizers. I repeat, if it is a complete fertilizer or a complete complex fertilizer, it contains nitrogen, phosphorus in phosphoric acid form, that is P2O5, and potassium as potash or soluble potassium K2O. So nitrogen, P2O5 and K2O, if they are present in the soil. If they are present, it is called a complex complete fertilizer. Incomplete fertilizer, if it contains either a single nutrient or two nutrients, then it is called incomplete fertilizer. Now in this you have the diammonium phosphate. This diammonium phosphate, NH4 taken twice, HPO4, it is prepared from ammonium phosphate by treating with phosphoric acid and ammonia. So, and this fertilizer contains more amount of nitrogen than phosphorus. Since it is the NH4 taken twice, HPO4, nitrogen is twice the phosphorus. So it contains more amount of nitrogen than phosphorus. Then come to the mixed fertilizers. These mixed fertilizers contain again all the three nutrients, that is the complete fertilizer containing nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. So you have open formula, these are classified into open formula mixed fertilizer and closed formula fertilizer mixture, open formula fertilizer mixture and closed formula fertilizer mixture. In open formula fertilizer mixture, they disclose the amount of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, that is the amount of nitrogen, phosphoric acid and potassium present in that particular fertilizer. So it is useful for a cultivator to know the amount so that he can use for a particular crop, for a particular soil. Then in closed formula fertilizer mixture, it is difficult since they won't disclose, it is a trade secret, they won't disclose the amount of nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium present in the soil. So it is different to analyze the cultivator to use for that particular soil and for a particular crop. So these mixed fertilizers contains the nitrogenous fertilizer, that is your ammonium nitrate or calcium sulfate, ammonium sulfate nitrate, ammonium nitrate or ammonium sulfate nitrate or calcium ammonium nitrate as nitrogenous fertilizer, and phosphatic fertilizer may be a triple superphosphate or a normal superphosphate, and potassium as potassium chloride or potassium sulfate. And it also contains neutralizers, conditioners, fillers. Now neutralizers, these neutralizers are the maybe calcium carbonate, that is lime, or dolomite, MgCO3, CoCO3 are added to decrease the acidity of the soil. And these conditioners are the organic material, that is paddy hulls or groundnut hulls or tobacco stems are used. They act as conditioners. For example, if it is a 1/10 of the fertilizer, mixed fertilizer, to it about the 75 kg of this organic material is added, which keep them in good drilling condition. That is, readily this fertilizer gets penetrated into the soil and reduces caking. Then fillers, they are added to increase the bulkiness or to give the weight to the fertilizers. They are sand, silica, or wood ash, or coal ash. These are added. And now advantages of mixed fertilizer. So they supplies all the nutrients to the soil: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and labor cost decreases since we supply all the nutrients at a time, and then crop yield will be increased. No need to use of the single fertilizer again, and micronutrients can be added uniformly, gets distributed uniformly to the soil, and then these granular mixed fertilizers are more advantageous to get absorbed in the soil, and then it improves the physical conditions of the soil. Now let us classify these fertilizers are classified into most important examples of these fertilizers are grade 1 fertilizer mixtures. It contains about 6-12-0 indicates 6% of nitrogen, 12% of P2O5 phosphoric acid, and 0% of potassium. These are used in grain crops in silty loam soils. And the second grade of fertilizer mixtures, they contain about 10% of nitrogen, 6% of phosphoric acid, and 6% of K2O, just general muriate of potash. And these are used in potato, tobacco, banana, papaya, vegetable crops. These are used in. And then the grade 3 fertilizers, they are used in your grain crops and sugarcane crops. They contain about 6.6, 6.5, and 6. 6.6% of nitrogen, 6.5% of phosphoric acid, and 6% of potassium. So they are used in grain crops and sugarcane crops. Grade 4 fertilizers, it contains 8, so say the same 8% nitrogen and 8% phosphoric acid and 8% K2O. They are used for potato crops, cereal, and oilseed crops. Thus, I finished with the fertilizers chapter.